Today is Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. You are watching MMA Junkie Radio. I am Goz, that's George. Back east is Danny. Danny, happy birthday, Danny.
Thank you.
Happy 31st birthday.
Why, thank you.
The big 3-1.
Do you remember the 3-1, George? Is there a birthday that or like a year that stands out for you in your 30s? Without really like putting things together?
No, but I'll tip you guys on to something. You know how you guys think you're cool right now? Wait till you're like 5 years older, and you look back, and some things still hold up. Like, that was pretty cool. And then there's some things you're like, God, what was I thinking? It just happens as you progressively get older.
Every year for me. Every year I look back at the past year, and I do that. That's why I never get a tattoo, because I look at my closet all the time. I see shirts and shoes and stuff that I thought was cool, literally months ago that I bought. And then I go, I was dumb, so I can't imagine being branded with something and thinking
that's
it's
okay,
cool.
Goz. I'll get all the tattoos for the show. Like,
yeah, we noticed.
That'll be my role. Yeah.
I would imagine, like, let's say you got Guns N' Roses. You know, let's say it's your favorite band. Then you're right. I guess you could go 10 years and then go, fuck, they suck now or whatever. But if you get, like, your mom's name, your kid's name, that's probably something that, okay, maybe you don't like the way it looks because as you get older, you're what's the word? Well, flabbier, but I don't know, whatever. It still represents something. So I guess you have to be real careful to pick that out if you want that covered. But some people live in the moment. And, you know, I was talking to Ryan Loco, and he won a poker tournament versus all the media back in like 2007, 2008. I remember we first started. Bruce Buffer had a poker room here at the Luxor. And he won it, and he even told Bruce, I'm going to get Bruce Buffer poker room tattooed. And I kind of wanted to jump in and go, take it easy, man. You know, like, you won the tournament, I get it, but you just never know, you know. And he's like, no, fuck it. And Bruce was like, really? Like, would you? And even he thought it was a little bit bizarre. And looking back, they closed it 2 years later. He'd have it on his body. He has so many that you'd have to really, like, examine his body to go, what's that? And I still told him the other day, and he stuck by, whatever. But I know deep down, I think he was like, whew, dodged a bullet. All right, today we'll have Colby Covington on the show. Sorry, folks, no Triple G. They pulled out at the last minute. We'll try and reschedule.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is going to be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goz. This is what we doing while we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yes!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communication stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goz.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Races Sportsbook, you are watching and listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goz, our co-host. Back east, handling all the production duties, it's Danny Otto. It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Danny Otto. And, of course, Dan Tom, the newest addition to MMA Junkie Radio, in and out of camera. You'll see him today. What's up, everybody?
What up? How's everybody's morning?
Good. Danny, how's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
Good. Did you wake up to a morning blowjob or anything? It is your birthday.
I know.
I know you got like 3 or 4 female roommates, don't you?
Yeah, now I do, actually. The other roommate finally moved in.
Oh, yeah? How'd that go?
Yeah. It was interesting. It's a long story. Maybe we can do a...
Maybe we can do it right now.
OT about I helped her move in. She had her boyfriend help her move in. No. Listen to my story.
We'll say that till OT, I guess.
Danny, you could not have looked any worse right now.
Her boyfriend moved in or helped her move in?
Helped her move in, but no, listen to this. She broke up with him after she moved in.
Oh, really?
Damn, she's a G.
Right after.
Wow.
Right after?
Thank you and your truck. See you later.
Beat it, nerd. She basically
Did he take it rough? Has he been sleeping on the lawn? You guys have lawns, Becky? What do you have, a stoop?
No, we have a lawn.
Oh, okay.
I live in a normal it kind of looks like your guys' development where there's a bunch of houses and.
We don't have a lawn.
You don't?
We have
Yeah,
rocks.
that's right, you don't.
We have a stoop.
Right.
Yeah, we do.
We have a front yard and a backyard.
Okay, all right.
She broke up with
the
him
guy's
like
just
that?
ghost or what? Or what have you heard?
Did she play it off at least?
She the reason she needed a place to move to, she lived with him, so she moved out. Like they were gonna take
a
space
break
and time and stuff like that. Yeah, but then she just completely ended it after he helped.
Like, are we talking hours, days, a week? What happened?
I'm talking. She moved in on Sunday morning, and by Sunday evening, she was single.
Damn.
Yeah.
But did she at least play it off like say, I don't like the way you dropped that box. Don't you know those things mean something to me? You know what? I'm tired of this bullshit. You're always acting like. Did she do that, or did she just go?
She
hey,
didn't
thanks
do
for
it at the
moving me.
place.
Guess what? You're a ghost.
She didn't do it at the place. They went somewhere, and by the time she got back, like it was like the evening, and we were all like making drinks because we have a bar at our house. And I was like, "Do you want a drink?" She said, "Yeah, I just had a rough couple hours." And I said, "Oh, because of the move?" And she goes, "No, I just broke up with my boyfriend."
Ooh. So Danny, this is actually good
for
you.
Deep down, where all the singles guys going, woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. So, what's the update? You're still in the friend zone?
Oh yeah, definitely for now.
You weren't that shoulder to lean on and cry on, possibly?
I mean, I made her an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah. What about her favorite dinner yet? Not yet? You can cook, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
I don't know what you have planned for later, but hopefully you have fun, and hopefully you don't call in sick tomorrow. Although I wouldn't blame you if you did. That's how I roll. Seriously, go blow some steam, man. I know 31's not 30, but every birthday special nowadays.
I'll be here. I'll just be a little bit more tired tomorrow.
Just act like you're hungover, like you had a blast, even if you had the most boring birthday. Because then I'll be unforgiving. So, hopefully you all forgive us, but Triple G will not join us on today's show. It took a while to get him booked. Then I received the go-ahead. In fact, reaching out was easy. They responded, what do you have in mind? I told them. They said, you got it. Quick. He was in Big Bear, though.
He still is, no?
Well, he came down for there was a press workout, and met with the press in LA yesterday. And so what they said was he doesn't have the best coverage up there.
We've been through that with Georgie Karakanyan and Lawrence Larkin.
Now that was met with, on my side, well, we were in the midst of Mayweather McGregor, and I wasn't even sure if we'd get to the recap, so I didn't want it to get buried. I thought, man, let's exit out of that week, which we are now, and then we can still have the focus. The fight's still, 3 weeks away? It's the September 16th. We're not even at August yet, so I thought this week or next would be perfect. Now, remember, next week we leave. We're off, let me see, we work the 6th, September 6th, and then we're off Thursday, Friday, and then the following week, so we have some days off. We build up some time. We have some vacation days to take, because otherwise we lose them. And frankly, I think Goz and I only have 2 under our belts, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so we got to
always find a way to cover it.
We got to get to some dates. So we're just going to take a longer vacation. And so what I wanted to do is obviously make sure we got him in before then, and got him away from the multitude of press he'll have to do and responsibilities he'll have to do once he gets here to Vegas, because this is his biggest fight ever. And this is a huge fight for boxing. So everything's on. They set a 15-minute block aside. I think they realized that MMA and boxing is starting to come together, and they realized our audience, with the traffic we're doing,
it's the perfect timing,
with Mayweather and McGregor, and the fact that somewhere along the line, anytime you talk Mayweather and McGregor, you only have to go 5 minutes, and somehow Triple G and Canelo comes up one way or another. And so I think they saw that. They saw the value in that, and so we were going to do something. And the problem is I was working through not the direct publicist, but through, I think what they do is they hire other PR firms that can kind of like reach out, kind of like tentacles, you know, reach out to maybe different outlets. Like, in other words, I might have been part of combat sports, and maybe the other one's mainstream sports, and the other one's something along the lines of pop culture or whatever. And so they accepted, they were down, and even though this could have went down about a couple weeks ago, it was the mountain that was giving us trouble and training schedules and, you know, on our side what we had going through. But last week I received word that we were on for today. 10 years, 2,500 shows later, I still don't like to make the biggest productions out of it.
That's why
because of bullshit like this.
I know.
But I mean, when they said it, I confirmed. They confirmed back. So it really sounded as good as it could be until last night.
We saw what happened with Luke and, you know, the Diaz brothers. It really is hard in the sport. It's a little different. Like when you watch ESPN and they have, just say Peyton Manning, they have him on. They're going to get him for like 5 minutes at the most. I think those are more for sure. They're easier to book. When we have guests on, we'll have them on for 15, 30 minutes sometimes at a time. So I think it's a little bit more of a commitment, and I think because of that, maybe the dice gets rolled a little bit more. But
I mean, most of the time it works, honestly. It's when it doesn't, it just kind of stings. But this is us outside of MMA, never having dealt with Triple G or his people. So he won't be on today's show, and they said possibly let's regroup after the fight, which kind of, again, stung because I'm thinking, fuck, all right, if he was busy today, like, is he really busy for the next 3 weeks? So I have another in, and I'll share that with you and Dan and Danny later on. But all you need to know is it's not dead yet. We'll see if we can talk to him. But that other in actually sent us this. This is a signed glove by Canelo Alvarez and Triple G.
Let me see that. The glove.
Okay. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, I love it. And guess what? It's not for us. It's for someone in Junkie Nation. And I asked Goes, how do we give this away? Fuck a phone call or a tweet. It's got to be, like, funner, you know? Plus, not that I'm working for HBO or that this is a takeover or an ad campaign or anything like that. And honestly, this started even before we got to what I'm about to talk to you all about. But I think I just want to every day remind people that on September 16th, a great boxing match is taking place. And I've gone through the Facebook comments, the YouTube comments, all my social media, whether it's regarding the show or personal or anything. And yes, there are a lot of people that on Saturday night did not have a good time. Just some people don't enjoy boxing.
I was a little taken back by that. I was surprised.
And to that I say, y'all are soft, because fuck, I mean, what do you want? Like fucking lions to pop out of the underneath the canvas and
gladiator?
Yeah, I mean, literally, it was entertaining. It was entertaining, and they can't wear 4-ounce gloves. I mean, if you really want that blood and the KO quick, that's one way to get to that. And I've rewatched the fight for a third time now.
Watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
For a third time?
Yeah, they slowed down. They definitely slowed down. But that first round or two, even though there wasn't many exchanges, when they did, they were throwing hard. They really were throwing hard. It was fun to watch an MMA guy who's never fought in or boxed before go in there and, again, just compete with one of the all-time greats. I'm very proud of Conor McGregor for that. As the fight went on, it did get a little uglier, but, I mean, again, he's debuting that night against one of the all-time greats. So, where am I at? Back to this. So, for those of you that just despised boxing, didn't like it, go get a beer or something, while I announce this. Because those that enjoyed it, or those that love boxing or MMA, or just love to win cool stuff, like a signed glove by Triple G and Canelo Alvarez, what we plan on doing is I'm going to make use of this. I bought this at Target the other day. And we used it for John Orlando's punishment. If y'all haven't seen it by now, I don't know where you're at, because his Facebook's blowing up, and we had some responses on our social media, and now if you looked at the front page, he's on the blue corner, so that's pretty cool. But John Orlando, good friend of ours, former comedian, PR, Hollywood guy, he, came on one day, was a co-host, and just popped off, and we were you know, I knew that he was popping off too much to just make a $20 wager or a Chipotle wager or a beer wager, and we came up with something fun. Very one-sided. I don't even think I had anything at risk, right?
Initially, he had said something, and it was something really dumb. It might have been like Chipotle or something like that. And then it just turned into nothing.
It turned into
nothing. It was the world's greatest bet on our end.
Right. And so he paid it off. He wore a diaper yesterday during the show. We took him outside. So you have to hunt that down. But I've done my share of retweeting and posting and sharing. But that's what I bought this for. But I asked Goes, how do we give this glove away? And he came up with a great idea. And the people that sent this to us from HBO, they loved it too. And again, it allows us to talk about Canelo and Triple G, you know, a few minutes per day. Reminding you, it takes place on September 16th. It is a pay-per-view. It's for the middleweight title. And all the particulars that will come with that, you know, we'll do it. But if you want to take in another boxing match between two high-level boxers, reserve that date, that pay-per-view, have another fight party. But what we're going to do is we're going to list Canelo's name 12 times, Triple G's name 12 times, and then we're at the bottom, we're going to write draw. That's 25 slots where, according to a great call or a great post, you know, we will write these names down. So when the fight takes place on September 16th, it's pretty much a matter of looking up at the board and going, that person won. Via TKO is obviously what would take care of the rounds. I guess a disqualification technically is a TKO, but basically anything that covers the round ending and somebody getting their hand raised in that particular round would get you this glove. So there'll be 25 participants in the contest. And then at the bottom, we'll write draw. And that's not far-fetched because
not at all.
The line dictates that it is a close fight. You know, Gennady Golovkin, also known as Triple G, is the favorite, slight favorite. And Canelo's coming back as an underdog. So the draw will also be a strong play. Not the greatest play, but it gets you in the ball game. I would venture to think that draw may even be more favorable than round 1 or 2. Because a lot of these high-level fighters use rounds 1 and 2 to just get going, as evidenced by Saturday. So I think that can be pretty fun. We'll write these names down, and then we'll maybe post it and just take a look at it. And obviously, we got to get this filled up by September 6th when we leave on our trip to Joint Base Langley, Eustis, and then put this bad boy in the mail when we come home. How
do people qualify?
That's what I wanted to discuss with you.
I don't think just
I
Joe
figured
Blow
it'd be fun
should
to
call in and say, give me round 7. I think maybe like they have to have a good call, and that qualifies them to be able to draw a number.
Right. So I think every day we can choose a few. And
do we let them pick the number, or are we drawing their name out of a hat?
Ooh, that's another good question. I would say we have to draw out of a hat. Because, again, 1 and 1 isn't good. So let's say you're holding people back from making their call until they get to the part where they like it.
What I was thinking was, if you make a great call, and we tell them, you know what, you qualify, they get to pick their number. Like, give me Canelo round 8 or whatever. Which I think encouraged people to call and make a good point because they want to get in. I see what you're saying.
You like that, Dan? Yeah? You like that? Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, we can do that.
So right now, if you want to win this glove, you better think of a good take, call in, because you want to be that first guy to pick his first number.
Yeah. So let's give away 3 spots today.
Okay.
All right. And it's between Dan and I as far as writing them down, because if you haven't seen Goze's penmanship, then, yeah, you don't know what I'm talking about. But
it's bad, but I've discovered that there are people way worse than me, and I never thought that was possible.
You are correct.
You ever see Jason Buckermer's writing?
Yeah. His is tiny, too, right? Can barely read the fuck he's saying. But, yeah, so we'll fill in 3 spots today, see how it goes, and then obviously we'll keep going. But this is pretty cool. The one thing I thought about on the way here was I have a lot of love for seasoned, grandfathered-in junkies. So 1 spot is going to go to Combat Chat, the Facebook Combat Chat. So we'll look and see who all the names are in there, and if the Combat Chat wins, then we'll have a separate drawing for them. Because I think they've earned their spot, and some of them just can't break away and aren't the frequent callers that they once were or whatever. But yet, if they're there, it's because obviously at some point in time or currently they've been special to the show. So 1 will be the Combat Chat. And
not a fighter spot.
I'm not going to stick them with the draw. The fighters?
Or nah?
No, it's got to land in the fans. Huh? Yeah, it's got to land in the hands of a fan. All right. So the number there is 866-522-2846. The social media for our show is at MMA Junkie Radio on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Had a little bit of a stronger presence lately.
I would say tag them, tag that, reach out to us there, and maybe use, what's the hashtag we should create?
How about hashtag
JR Glove Contest?
G. So 6 G's. No? Hashtag 6 G's.
Junkie Radio Glove Contest? Is that too long?
Yeah.
I'd like to see the presence of Junkie Radio.
Okay.
Junkie Radio gloves? No. Junkie Radio. Who's an expert in social media? You know anything about that, Dan? I think I lied and said you were an expert, so you better come up with something.
You put him in a rough spot, because if he says yeah, he's instantly an expert. So
right.
He can't get anything wrong ever. That's why he just kind of went, yeah. Hashtag.
When did the found of misinformation start? Because you are haunted by that.
I had a really rough year in high school.
Is that when it was?
I want to say it was I think it was.
Did I just crush your psyche when I was like?
Yeah, I don't.
As a young man, and you were a kid?
Even if I know the answer, I don't like to do it.
It's like there's things that I say to goes, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, I don't do it because it's not worth it.
Like he brings back these haunted past of something I must have done.
If I get it right, so what? If I'm wrong, I'm in the fountain of misinformation, which kind of has been my home. Like that's my territory. That's my doghouse. So I try and stay out of it.
Yeah, you should see when I ask him stuff. Hey, what time's the game?
Because if I go like, man,
it's almost like I drew a gun on him.
12:30 or something like that, right? Then what'll happen is later on, George will be like at round table or something, and he'll be like, "You said it was at 12:30," and
what the fuck? It's really started at 12. I missed the first quarter. Yeah, well, that was I think more of a years ago type thing.
And then the whole game, like if it's a good game or something, like I'll just get like a thumbs up periodically when I'm looking at them. Like so, I mean, it never ends.
All right, I still am down to talk about Mayweather and McGregor.
Danny's got one. He says, "What about hashtag a touch of gloves?"
No, it's got the Junkie Radio's got to have a presence. I want to see that out there in the Twitter sphere.
Well, do people really have to write very much? Can we just do Junkie Radio, touch of gloves, or something like that?
No, you know what? It should be.
Because whatever it is afterwards has got to be short, because Junkie Radio
takes a lot.
There
might be more gloves coming. So there also has to be something with Junkie Radio Gloves Contest 1, or maybe just identify it as Junkie Radio GGCA 1. Or no. See what I'm saying? Is there may be other ones?
I think it should be Junkie Radio and 6 Gs.
No.
Why you don't like 6 Gs?
Why do you like 6 Gs?
Triple G, GG, G.
Right. Did you know that, I feel like we're playing Connect 4 here. Did you know that I could technically be quadruple G? My middle name on my birth certificate is Gustavo. Right? So I could be quadruple G, triple G, and double G. That's a lot of G's.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's 9. That's 9 G's.
When our show was originally booked, Audiotar was going to be on. So it's AA, triple G,
and Colby Covington. Yeah. CC.
I think Matt discovered that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
You think Andre Arlovsky was sitting back going like, what
about me? Yeah. Jon Jones. Hey, I'll give you a comment. You sent something out cryptic.
I don't even want to talk about that. It made me so mad when I read. What is it? We won't even know. We can't figure it out. It's so stupid and cryptic that who cares?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Aren't you there?
I filed it there.
I filed it under that.
Yeah.
Like I look at him more like, why'd you even do that? Like that's just stupid.
Yeah. I sure wish we could talk more in Spanish at times, because who cares isn't strong enough. I'd really file it under me vale madres. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a fuck. Because Jon Jones, when you're fighting, it don't get any better, right? We'll give him that. It really doesn't get any better. I mean,
but when you're talking,
there's some others out there that are beasts as well, but it really doesn't get any better when you're involved in a fight. The lead up kind of sucks because we're always talking about your personal life and what you've overcome, and less X's and O's, but maybe that's what makes you so polarizing. But when we get to the fight, it's fucking special. But other than that, the dumb stuff that accompanies it, oh yeah, I'm really over it.
Of all the GOATs in combat sports, which one was the total package? And what I mean by the total package is, if you go back and you look at, let's just take George St. Pierre.
You mean fighter, on and off the field, in and out of the cage. Okay.
But on the mic, not so much, right? Same thing what we're talking about Jon Jones. If you go pro wrestling, though, Ric Flair was pretty dope, right? I don't want to include pro wrestling, but that Muhammad Ali was great in the ring, great on the mic. Okay? Chael Sonnen, great on the mic, but
came up
the
short
cage
big fights.
Came up short a little bit, right? So who do you think is that GOAT?
McGregor.
McGregor?
He seems to have a lot of them. A lot of check marks.
But I think there's other fighters that could say in the cage ring may have performed a little bit better, right? Like Muhammad Ali's probably got him.
Well, he's not awful. He did get submitted 3 times. McGregor did. But...
And now he's got the boxing loss.
Right. But, still, I mean, his performance has been pretty top-notch.
Tyson was pretty good.
He won the Cage Warriors titles, and then he came over here and won the UFC titles. And along the line, let's just put Alvarez to the side, not to disrespect him or anything, but the winner, Aldo, is, like, iconic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He starched an all-time great. So I would say there's not a perfect answer, but he's pretty close. I'd say Muhammad Ali
I think he
is pretty close to perfect too, but he also lost 4 times.
But in the big fight, he's got a lot of dumb losses, but in the big fights he was pretty solid.
He lost to Frazier.
Yeah.
That was a big fight.
That's one.
The Spinks fight was, a dumb one. I'll give him that. I think he just did prepare. And let's see who else. Leonard didn't really talk trash. He's talking about, well, what's the total package?
Leonard was okay. He was an okay talker, but you had to pull it out of him. He wasn't going to go out and do it, right?
So give us your criteria, though. Trash talk?
You have to perform in the big fights.
Right.
Right? Leave your mark there. But also, a little bit of trash talk and just hyping up a fight.
World champion.
Like, I thought Tyson was good. It was maybe a little over the top. I thought Lennox Lewis was good trash talk. His performance in the ring was also good, but I don't know that it's on the level of some of the other guys. Would be another good guy. In MMA. Like Fedor, great in the ring, great in the cage. But didn't talk, right? So he's not the total package.
Well, the best talkers, I guess we can cover those quickly.
Like Rampage.
A lot of losses.
Didn't perform to there. Couture was a good fighter, and even if you look at his record, it's not the greatest record, but he had his moments in history. Tito, could probably throw his name in there.
Had a fair share of losses, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Liddell didn't really talk smack.
Right. Ronda was pretty special. Congrats to Ronda Rousey. She and Travis Brown tied the knot. I saw that as well. I think you're gonna probably be left with Muhammad Ali.
Roy Jones. Roy Jones is pretty good about it.
Was he a trash talker though?
Yeah, Roy Jones.
But like to the level of McGregor, I mean Muhammad Ali.
Not very many people.
These guys get quoted. I mean, give me a Roy Jones quote right off the top of your head. I don't think there's really that many. Whereas McGregor's really like you could make money off just selling T-shirts of his quotes.
Yeah. People have
Muhammad Ali, McGregor. I think you have to start there and. Probably
mine is Muhammad Ali.
Throw in pro wrestling. I really don't mind it.
Well, I think that's going to win every time.
Here's one thing about Flair, who, by the way, how's he doing? Didn't they induce a coma?
Yeah, but I think he's doing better.
Okay, so Ric Flair could talk as good as they come, and he wrestled pretty good for like what we regard as pro wrestling. I guess he wasn't like the big monster physiqued out or anything like that, but still.
But he was technical. He went off the ropes.
The list of the accomplishments in pro wrestling was pretty amazing. So I'd have to say
it wasn't like Hogan, right? Like Hogan didn't really do much.
Right. And the Rock won his fair share of world titles. Stone Cold won his fair share. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess we can go forever on that one. Yeah. Okay. Well,
we can do one for each sport if you want.
We're stuck with McGregor and Muhammad Ali, I guess, because pro wrestling will go on. They've all won titles. They switch titles around a lot. They can all trash talk. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about them.
I'm not the greatest when it comes to pro wrestling, but I would have to say it'd probably be between Flair, The Rock. And
I would say another thing that's important in pro wrestling
Stone Cold wasn't
where
very
they
active
pay-per-view
in the
draws. You know what I mean? Finishing moves. They probably have their own little criteria deal going on. All right. Mayweather McGregor. I was going to say, I'm not done talking about this. Again, the feedback we get is important to us. Doesn't mean we'll have to agree. It doesn't mean you have to like all 120 minutes of this show. But it also means we don't have to pay attention to all of your feedback. We value it all, but we're just going to butt heads at times or just politely disagree, whatever. And people want us to get on with it. We can't. Have you been on Junkie?
It doesn't stop.
There's stories where I look and I go, what is that? I got to click it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's a lot of matchups.
Another.
It's no disrespect to these names out there, but there's a lot of matchups that get pitched to us on, you know, this is including the UFC, for crying out loud. The UFC or Bellator, where you look at it and go, good for you. See you in a few weeks when the fight happens. I don't click that. I just know what the matchup is in my head. Hopefully I can remember it. Like Colby Covington, our guest today, UFC Fight Night 119, October, I think it's 26, 29, somewhere in late October. But I'll definitely dial that in. I know that it's a high-profile fight because Maya just fight for the title. Colby's like 5 or 6-1 in the UFC, 12-1 overall. So this is big for him. I'm not saying it gets him a title shot, but I know there's high stakes. I know that card's headlined by Brunson and Machida. So you see what I'm saying? I'm starting to put it all together. But 2 months away, I'm like, yeah. We'll button up the details in a while because there's still other stuff going on. But if somebody tells me the live gate for the Mayweather McGregor event was, I got to click it. I want to know the details. Yeah. So we host the show. That's what we want to talk about. You have to get over it. And a lot of people are clicking the same story we're clicking. So it's not like we're on an island here. It's just us two. I mean, the numbers just keep pouring in. We have to talk to that audience. There's people that want to know that stuff. There's people that still want to give their opinions. I've watched the fight 3 times now.
Watched it twice.
And there's a lot of things that I've enjoyed about it, and there's other things that popped up, you know, in regards to it. So I'm not done talking. Are you? About Mayweather McGregor?
I'm not, because there's just so many different opinions on it. The one thing that shook me up a little bit was when I was seeing some of the negative reviews of the night, I thought that maybe I hadn't caught something because of the way that we watched the fight. But I went back and I watched it, and I still thought it was good going back and watching it. And there were a couple little things that I didn't pick up on, but I think if you didn't like that night or you felt like you didn't get your money's worth, you might have issues. Just you're not going to be happy.
All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we will take some calls, 866-522-2846. But I definitely want to cover a touchy subject, and that's black and white. Something that, again, I noticed watching for the 3rd time. I want to give you my opinion on that. I want to pick your brain goes and see how Junkie Nation reacts to not just Ireland versus America, MMA versus boxing. I want to react to white guy versus black guy. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93. And don't worry, it's not going to be some deep conversation. It's just something that I noticed, but something that I think we can easily put to bed. We'll be right back.
Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder and tell him it's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
All right, folks. In the second hour, we will give you the hashtags to use if you want to reach out to us via Twitter so that you can be on this board here. Anybody that's in our Facebook chat, you can check it out. We want to fill in some names there, and after the fight, whoever correctly predicts the winner in the round will get this glove, signed by Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. Pretty cool. You know, somebody told me enough with the boxing, enough with Canelo and Alvarez. I had to check them.
Enough with
boxing's on the downfall. It's over. It's done. I thought, fuck. Okay, in April we had Klitschko and Anthony Joshua. 90,000 were present in Wembley. By the way, the scene's blowing up in England. We just had Crawford and Lomachenko fight within weeks of each other. Two pound-for-pound greats. Andre Ward just vanquished Sergey Kovalev, another pound-for-pound great. That was a fun fight with a finish. Call it what you will, but Mayweather McGregor was a boxing match, and it was a monster that drew millions and millions of pay-per-view, a huge gate. People gave a shit is what it boils down to. And then we have Triple G and Canelo with still 1/3 of the year left because there's still half of September, all of October, November, December. Man, like, what do you want? Like, that, I don't think boxing in any way is dead. I think there's a lot of, like, young and rising stars, and I think there's a lot of fill-in veterans, you know, that they've maybe tasted their best and now have to regroup, and then there's still some all-time or pound-for-pound greats to talk about. So maybe educate yourself a little bit before you put out that kind of statement, because it's so not true. Boxing's doing well.
The hashtag I keep seeing over and over, there's actually a lot of them, but I keep seeing
yeah, pitch them to us, because by
Canelo, Triple G.
We're not in any way married to anything just yet.
No, I mean like the fight hashtag.
Oh, okay. I guess on the HBO website would probably be the most important thing. Whatever they have with the listing of the time and where to buy and all that, that'll probably be the lead. So we'll probably what we've decided is we're gonna have a couple hashtags for you to tag. We're not asking for much. We don't want a novel. We just want to know how clever you can be, or describe to us how bad you want that glove. And I would suggest using @MMA Junkie Radio the best. I haven't been the best on checking Twitter. It's like I migrate from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter. I can't hit all three, man. I have a fucking life, somewhat of a life. So, but I think MMA Junkie Radio is fair, because we do have to check that from time to time, or daily. So that
Canelo, Triple G
via Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter sounds pretty fair, and we'll scan it and then we'll just look at it and see if it's a video or a picture or just a cool post. Goes and I and Dan will huddle, Danny, and say, hey, that's pretty cool. Put them on, and for those that can't call in, we'll just give you the round, or maybe that's where we'll do the drawing. But for the people that actually call in and have a good call, then we'll see if we can give you the round that you asked for. What were the other ones?
Canelo, Triple G looks like is the hashtag that HBO Boxing uses.
Canelo, Triple G.
And Golden Boy.
You think Triple G's wondering, why is he first?
Maybe.
These guys have egos sometimes. I'm not saying Triple G's one of them. He's probably care less. But I know Mayweather McGregor probably fought for a lot. Although with that kind of money, fucking concede, right?
Who cares at that point?
I was still underwhelmed by the walkouts. And, Conor just draped the Irish flag on him. And I really thought he would do mink or something else. And you said, I kind of like that he kept it plain old school, but I don't think he thought that. I think he just, who was the official sponsor? Or did you see anything?
No.
I mean, it's not like I'm sitting there watching him the whole time, but I could clearly tell it was Hublot. You know, Dan? Reebok Monster, okay.
Yeah, Monster was on the trunks.
Okay. Yeah, I think they had agreed on some deal, and then Hublot was for Floyd, and Floyd looked sharp. What did look sharp, though?
His underwear at the weigh-ins were something, I can't remember, but he had a sponsor there, too. That dude leaves no money on the table.
Yeah, you're right. What was I going to say? Oh, what did look sharp, though, was his cornerman in vests and the shirt. It was different. You know,
it was different.
Yeah, I
He's
think they
getting a lot
should
of
be
shit
more.
for it.
I think they should be more comfortable, obviously, but they're all fit. Like it was Artem I saw in the outfit.
Mm-hmm.
I saw John Kavanaugh and I saw Owen Roddy, and then I don't know how deep that went, but they were outfitted by what's his name, David August, the suit maker, and it just looked different. And I don't know. I liked it. Why is he getting shit?
People just joking.
Yeah.
You should have got better advice instead of having those bartenders with them, shit like that.
That's funny. I feel that. I think a consultant, like if an Emmanuel Stewart was still with us, to be in the corner would have been great, or just an old school guy maybe. Jerry Cooney was telling us.
But are they going to agree with what he's trying to do? That's the thing. I think you're either in or you're out.
So he either runs the show or he's out?
Yeah.
Then he runs the show.
I think you need to have
with the support. Because how could the other two not believe that person would have
That's what I'm
idea?
saying. So if you're going to have a boxing trainer at whatever capacity in the corner, have him be the head guy at that point.
Right.
Because you're either in or you're out.
Mm-hmm. Jerry Cooney was telling us he thought that for $100,000 or $150,000 he could have got himself a trainer for those 4 weeks or 6 weeks leading up to the fight.
That was less, wasn't it? I thought he said less.
No, that was less for the cut man. He felt like perhaps Stitch could have brought down his price a little bit. It still would have been a massive payday. And I would say that maybe $200,000 between the two could have been invested by McGregor's camp, because, again, he's making a ton. I know a lot of it goes to Uncle Sam and tickets, because if you've ever seen, I'll see if I can dig it up, but Mayweather once tweeted after the Pacquiao fight, or it was put out there somehow, it was almost like an invoice that he had. He tweeted it, that's right. So, May of 2015, and if anybody can find it, please tag me at MMA Junkie George, but something along the lines where, this is how business is conducted, and it showed tickets for family tickets or friend tickets, different levels of tickets, camp fees, things like that. And that came out to a lot, by the way. But he pays for that. He doesn't pay for it out of his pocket. It's just taken out of, and I think at the time, one of the checks he was getting was like $180 million. And then he subtracted that. And then, obviously, he was boasting about the take-home number, which was pretty grand, trust me. But I think Conor, if he, put it on paper like that, he'd see that, hey, this isn't a bad idea for me to make this investment. But then again, maybe it was that awkwardness, or maybe it was the loyalty of his team that meant to him a lot, and that's why he did. And I don't know. He's a bizarre individual, but I really do understand him at times, especially when you afford him the chance to give an explanation. Let's take some calls before we get to this next break. We'll start off with Jim in Long Beach. If you want to join the queue, it's 866-522-2846. What's up, Jim?
How you guys doing? Good morning.
Morning.
Hi.
Yeah, well, I was wrong. I said that Mayweather was going to knock him out in the 7th round and went to the 10th round. But, I told you that's what the fight was going to be. He's just going to wear McGregor out, and he wouldn't last the whole fight. McGregor had, it's just a scam. It was all about the money, how much they can make, and it was an event. Let's get real. If McGregor was to get in the fight with Triple G or Canelo Alvarez, they would knock him out within 2 to 3 rounds at the most.
I can agree with what you're saying, but those are also two bigger cats than Floyd Mayweather. So you have to account for those 20 pounds. You have to account for 2 years of not training. But I hear what you're saying. You did get the pick right. I don't remember if you said 7 or what you said, but you did say Mayweather. I'll give you credit for all that. It was an event. It wasn't a pure technical boxing match, but it was entertaining. And right now, the landscape of combat sports is entertain me and I'll pay you. So you have to give both guys credit for that. They did go out there. They earned their dough. But if you are going to make that comparison, I mean, Triple G and Canelo, again, are bigger athletes. So, yeah, of course they'd go out there. They're younger and just more fluid right now because they're constantly competing. So it's not just, like you said, like this is what they would do. I mean, what I'm saying is I'm stopping short of going, well, duh. You see what I'm saying? But I'm trying to explain it to you respectfully.
I think Canelo gets it done in 5. I wouldn't say 2, though. That's like Tyson, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to come out
2 minutes
swinging like a maniac either. He'll feel him out a little bit. I'd say
suppose,
5, maybe 4. 4?
And Triple G's going to win the next fight. Triple G will definitely win against Alvarez.
Would it be a trip, though? What'll be a trip though is if one of those two wins and calls out Conor, you'll know that. Man, I'm like, okay, now what do we do? You know what I mean? Because all it takes is one of those call outs or something, and that's just kind of like stoking the fire, I guess, or we're starting the fire really, and then years later we point back to a certain event. But it'll be interesting to see if those two are like, nah, you know, like this is something else. That was a special event. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, that could have worked out if McGregor would have won the fight, then I'm sure that would have happened, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Thanks for the call, buddy. Let's go to the next one. Dan in Oregon. What's up, Dan?
What up? Long time no speak. Hey, shout out to everyone helping out in Houston, the Black Beast, all those guys, man. I love what I'm seeing down there.
I'm glad you talked about that. I went in, I was checking out a post, and somebody was, there's always one little cunt in there that has to complain about something, and they didn't like the fact that we posted it, and on the title, we mentioned that Derek, did you see the story? Derek helped somebody out who had a Confederate flag, you know, and obviously that symbol has links to racism. We didn't say anything about direct racism involving either guy or anything. That's all. Had to go in there and slap that person around because I honestly thought it was a great story. Jon checked in on Derek. Derek was telling him about what was going on. Derek shares a story about, you know, somebody he came in contact with, and Derek immediately blew it off. You know, all Jon did was just follow up on that. But why not the focus on Derek's heroics? I mean, he should be training for a fight. His spot is safe. Instead, he knows he's got this big truck, and he's also a big, capable, athletic guy, and he's out there helping. And I'm sitting there answering this buffoon. But whatever, man.
That's the day and age we're in.
Yeah.
The kind of people I appreciate, man. Like, if you see someone that needs help, help them. Don't just, like, go on doing your own stuff. On that note, UFC Fight Pass, man. You think you can just roll right over this, right into the Contender Series advertisements and not address nothing? Be like Showtime. Showtime gave out refunds to everybody that wasn't able to stream through their service. What the heck is going on with Fight Pass, man? I've been loyal to them for years. I purchased the Jon Jones fight on there, all that good stuff, because I want them to get more money. I tried to give them more money this time, and now they're trying to F us all over, man. What's going on with it?
I'll have to check that out. You know, I've seen the different stories. I'm trying to keep up with these guys, but editorial's been on fire. But I'll have to check out and see how, because, you know, I know that Dana White said it was a huge disappointment, and some people were directed to New Lion or whoever the hell they were, and I did see Showtime and what they're doing, so I'll have to just read the stories, compare, and see how they're both handling it. I really have no idea. I'm probably about 30, 40 stories behind. These guys are just churning and churning and churning.
Yo, man, McGregor did great. You know, good fight. I enjoyed it. It was everyone that was at the fight party that we had a good time. But I want to know this. Would McGregor have beaten Diaz without leg kicks and without running in fight 2? Because my answer is no. So, sure, he's the biggest money guy of our sport versus their biggest money guy of their sport, but, like, who would really be the 1-versus-1 or the one guy that we could pick out and be like, he might actually win it for us? Because, like, I get this whole...
Against Floyd?
Come away with the... Yeah, no. I'm saying, like, we got this kind of, like, victory because he went to the 10th round. Our dude lost, man. We sent a guy in there, he lost. We gotta come back with that. So, like, who do we send in there that's gonna win? Not against, if Floyd's retired, whatever. Against Canelo, against Triple G, like, are you gonna pick Max Holloway, who's got probably some of the best boxing in MMA?
None of them.
Jose Aldo.
None of them are going to win. We have to pick someone who's not at the top, who's still a big name, so that the fight is relevant. But none of the MMA fighters could topple a boxer who's at the top of the game right now.
If anything, it might be easier to go the other way around.
Could someone look better? Yeah, we could answer that question, but none of them could topple.
Chris Algieri could maybe win a fight in MMA.
We do have to take a break. Thanks for the call, Dan. Good to hear your voice. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. We'll be right back.
Same way.
Yeah.
They pat down TSA agents because they don't know where those people have been, and because they can. They are Gorgeous George and Goes, and this is MMA Junkie Radio.
To celebrate the birthday of Michael Jackson 1 by Cirque du Soleil is giving you the opportunity to win 2 tickets to the show and a 2-night stay at Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. The show, along with the estate of Michael Jackson, will celebrate the King of Pop's birthday on Tuesday, August 29th at the Michael Jackson 1 Theater at Mandalay Bay, with festivities that include opening trainings, a Q&A with acrobats from the show, Michael Jackson 1 trivia with prizes, a special never-before performance by the cast of Michael Jackson 1, a book signing by Michael Bush, and a birthday cake reception. All events are free and open to the public. For more information, please visit cirquedusoleil.com/MJBday. I saw the Michael Jackson show the other day, George. It was pretty dope.
It's different from the 2015 version?
Yeah, from what we saw last time, there were a couple modifications.
Did they still have a 6'4" Michael Jackson?
The dancing guy?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was dope.
He's dope, but
this show that I went to was the first one where the crowd was like really into it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they were all over the place. It was really, really cool.
All right, we're gonna do a quick sports update. Check out the front page of MMA Junkie. Our buddies, John Orlando's blowing up there. We'll be right back, folks. A few minutes.
Oh, the blackjack and poker and the roulette.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. Check out this title, goes. UFC standout, the Black Beast, Derek Lewis saves Confederate flag-toting Hurricane Harvey victim. If it just said, I mean, trying to meet them halfway, but
it makes the story unique.
It does.
Because it shows him overcoming something that normal people may go, well, fuck that guy then.
Right.
But he didn't do that.
Yeah. I think maybe people have problems with that. You know what?
You're missing the point of the story. The point of the story is he helps someone.
Right.
Focus on that.
And if you don't have a headline like that, then not as many people might be drawn to read the body of the story where it's covered by the reporter and Derek. It's not in any way done to divide or anything like that. I think there's too many people that click onto a story with the intention of being negative, rather than start with the positive, and then obviously if there's something there where you go, what the fuck was that? Then you can question it. But when you go in looking for something like, what are they up to now? Oh, sure, okay, here we go. You know, like, that's what I react when I see, like, Chael Sonnen. And I don't say it in a bad way, but with Chael, you're like, oh, here we go. What's he up to? You know, there's a shtick Chael, and then there's serious Chael. So you have to sift between the two. But Junkie's reputable, and Dan Stupp wouldn't allow for that. And John's kind of been his protege for many years, so I know that there's a balance, but there's sites that are out there that for sure are fishing, you know what I mean? And that's not us. So I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And if that was what the person was intending to do, you got me. But I felt like it was something I just needed to cover with everybody, because I thought it was a really, really cool story to see Derek out. I mean, he's carrying little kids across what's a river at this point.
And it's a guy who a lot of people have pointed at his past or some of the things that he said and tried to paint him in a light where he maybe doesn't look the best.
Yeah. All right. 866-522-2846. I've taken intel. Dan had a great call. Jim from Long Beach had a great call. Let's take some more calls, and we will be filling in a few spots today.
We did have two spots. Did we say that?
Yeah. Good job. Who caught that?
David Ayers.
David Ayers. He said, why not put decision on both sides, thereby having 27 spots available? So usually when you're at a house party, you have rounds 1 through 12. It's well known that 12 gets the decision. So he's cheering for the end. Obviously, a KO's the best because everybody's happy. But, yeah, we could say 12. You only get those 3 minutes, and then the decision belongs to two separate people. The Canelo guy,
gives more drama.
Triple G guy, yeah. So we're going to add that, so we have 27 spots. This is rough. I wasn't sure how to budget the spacing, because it's just a dry erase board. It's not like we have, some lines drawn in or anything like you would see in
March Madness.
No, well, like if you were to use an Excel spreadsheet, so that it's nice and proper, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, here it is, 1 through 12 with decision. I guess I have to tilt forward. That's the easy way. There you go. Hopefully we'll fill in some names based on the quality of your call and what we see on social media. Let's go to DJ Tony from San Francisco. What's up, Tony?
Hey, yo. Gentlemen, I want to ask you this. What do these people have in common? Michael Jackson, John McCain, the great Leah Michelle, and Danny Okers of Automatic 253.
They all have the same birth date.
Exactly. In the immortal words of Mark Hoppus of Blink-182, one of Danny's favorite bands. Gee, I wonder where he got the name, the inspiration for Automatic 253, Blink-182. Listen, there's no doubt about it, guys. Conor McGregor is one of the best trash talkers of all time, right?
Right.
But however, let's not forget the other greats, right? Clubber Lang, Apollo Creed, Johnny Rico, not Spider Rico, Johnny Rico. But you know who we're missing, honestly, guys? Joanna Jędrzejczyk, because not only is she undefeated,
hey, that's not bad. That's not bad.
She can trash talk in several languages, and guess what? She does it with a smile and a little blink.
Yeah, and she can be a gangster as well. That's not a bad one, Tony. Good job.
Yeah, and undefeated. Hey, guys, finally on the McGregor Mayweather thing, listen, I think everybody won. I think McGregor did better than we all expected, and I think if anyone tells you anything different, they're lying. But Mayweather also went forward. This was a 40-year-old guy with basically 2 years off to win forward and gave us really a good show for the money, guys. Well, listen, final thing on the glove hashtag, how about GG gloves? Like Gorgeous George gloves, a play on Triple G. Gentlemen, you guys are the greatest. Me voy.
All right. Yeah, we'll sort out the hashtags. We'll sort them out because I want to be proper with them and make sure that we give HBO some love and obviously our show some love. And we're novices at this, but we have an expert now on the staff. He's an expert. So what's he doing? Checking out a chick or something?
I don't know.
Girls in bathing suits walking by to the pool.
I think he's watching the.
He's watching the screen. Okay, because I saw him go. Ooh, he had that look like. Ooh, look at that. I don't want to get him in trouble. He's got a lovely significant other at home, like us, but like I do. Goes single, right? Technically, what are you?
Me?
Yeah,
single.
Single. Okay. I never knew with you. This guy's like the fucking Cape Crusader the last few months, so I don't know what the hell's going on with him. The limit I have with goes is me sending a text like, "Are you home?" and then he'll come down the stairs and hold on to like the arm rail, which means what? So I can get right back upstairs. It's not like a sit down, how you been, bro, or nothing like that. It's literally like this. Just sticks his head out. What's up? You need something? Oh yeah. Okay, tomorrow. Okay, cool. And then right back upstairs. So I don't know what's going on with him. Let's go to Marco in Waco, Texas. What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco. ¿Qué pasa?
¿Qué pasa? Hey, how close did the hurricane get to you?
No, Waco, we got like the very tail end. Nothing really happened here. It just rained a little bit, man. South of Austin, that is like an hour and a half away from us, is where everything started getting ugly. So I'm
really?
Good,
South of Austin, you said?
South of Austin, yeah. Like, what is it? Well, like 20 minutes away from the south of Austin is where you start seeing.
Is he saying side of Austin or south of Austin, or is he like toting Montana? Side of bomb? I mean, what is he doing? What's going on? South, okay. Pero no se bien, way. All right. It's like making up a city, south of Boston. I'm like, okay. So would you say this was like College Station?
Yes. You want to like pinpoint it is College Station. You know.
Okay.
The south of Texas, south central Texas, and
did the hurricane go between Houston and Austin, kind of like right through that little corridor?
No, it kind of set in between San Antonio and Houston, and it sat there and then it went back down to the Gulf, pick up steam again, came back up, and it's with the same shit again, and it's going to hit Louisiana again. So it's like it's snaking in and out all the way to the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, because we have relatives in North Dallas, and they said they were good. So it must be hooking around a little bit. I see what you're saying, man. That sucks. And I did hear that another storm is coming. I don't know if it's what category it is, but
it's the same motherfucking storm that it just keeps sitting and picking up steam because it pick up all the moisture from the Gulf and then comes back inland and dump all the freaking water. That is horrible, man.
This guy's like a meteorologist, a paleontologist. Multi-talented you are, Marco.
I'm just a nerd. The people that don't get the story with Derek Lewis, they're just myopic, too, because it's all about somebody that didn't care about what you believe or what you want. He just saw human life. He rescued the whole family of the Confederate flag. And the wife of the guy was, embarrassed about the ordeal that the guy was trying to say the Confederate flag. And Derek Lewis told him, don't worry about it, It's not about that right now. So the people are missing the point. Last thing on this Mayweather. The boxing event in general, on a lighter note, it was a little weird, because, like, for example, the Corona ringers, they remind me of the Jack Nicholson Batman, the Smilex. Because these bitches will not move. They're like wax idols with a big smile for 4 hours straight.
It was
What's
painful.
wrong with those girls, man?
I know. It was painful, man. They need to rotate them, right? At least.
Like Giada De Laurentiis over and over.
At least rotate them. Like, Showtime's big budget. So if when when Floyd said, let's bring in Conor McGregor, at that time maybe shuffle the other two, because I think there was 4 total, maybe a 5th. Give them some sort of a break, because that was painful. The smile was forced. And how are they standing? Let me see. It was hand on hip and hand on thigh. And then they just have to do this switch and then bring back the smile. But you can just tell they were like, when does this end? When does this end? Like, this is brutal. I only had to stand there waiting for 10 minutes. You know how I have sometimes sharp nerve pain in my legs sometimes? And I had to stand there with Shamakar waiting for Conor to come into Surrender Nightclub. And I remember thinking, going, please hold up. Please hold up. But now I know why I don't do that, and photographers and videographers have to chase this down. Let me tell you something. Well, Marco, you want me to hijack your call, or you want to finish the call and then I'll talk?
Go hijack it,
man. So this was what was happening. I'll tell you, this was kind of funny, man. We had these bracelets, and I'll just say Shamakar hooked them up.
Okay.
So when we went in, he talked to the guy, and because of the color of our bracelet, he said, oh, yeah. He lifted up the rope, and we went in. So inside of the velvet rope was Shamakar, myself, and what looked like 2 other photographers. Let's just say one was maybe part of the Encore people, and the other one may have been just another big outlet. So USA Today had some weight, because he told them, I could hear him say USA Today and the bracelet, and they're like, come on through, sir, and I had it too.
Flip the card over?
Yeah, exactly. So we're sitting there in prime spot, and then behind us is probably about 200 people, So obviously they weren't happy because Shamakar and I take up space. So they had a great shot, and now we're there. So I'm sure there was like, oh, these fucking guys, Yeah. But regardless, they're standing there, and we're being cool. We're like, okay, you're here, just trying to get the sight line of the camera shot or the I'm doing the phone because that's all I had. And other people
probably pissed them off too.
More expensive ones. But so we're sitting there, and I'm looking at Shamakar like, the secret fist bump, like, good job, boy, And so anyway, we're standing there waiting, and I was kind of the Corona girl. So I'm kind of like waiting with my hand on my left arm, holding, just kind of having it ready. I had already typed everything out. Because I don't even know how you're supposed to do it. Like, hey, Facebook, check out what might happen that's pretty cool. Like, and now if it doesn't happen for 30 minutes, you got people like, what the fuck? You woke me up, you did this.
Around, right?
Or do you do it, hey, it's happening now. You're lucky if you happen to catch the replay if you missed it. So I'm holding on to what I should do. I'm trying to watch them to see if I can give people at least a minute or two, And so I got my hand like this. I'll just use my phone. I'm holding it. I have it ready. I typed out everything. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about the hashtag game and what's clever. Like, you're going to love this, or versus... GG at it again. I don't know what to put. So I'm holding like this, and then I'd have to switch goes like the Corona girls like this. Kind of put all my weight on this side and wait, and then back 2 minutes later, and then like put my hands down low, and I'm sitting there going, I fucking hate this. I'm not built for this. I don't like it. And then like
your back starts
a little bit pushing, back stiffening up, and then now they give this acknowledgement like Conor's close. And so some security people come by, and they're standing there, and the people pushing me, I didn't want to be that Irish kid on Titanic that got shot, because all he did was get pushed by someone, and next thing you know, he gets capped. Yeah, Tommy, right? And really, Tommy wasn't starting anything with security. He just happened to be the result.
He did punch one of them earlier.
Well, he did, but I don't think they communicated that, right? So I'm kind of bumping into the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm looking at him like, it's them, and he's kind of giving me acknowledgement like, I got you, but he's a big cat. So I just didn't want to be on the receiving end of a push. So I'm in between all that, starting to fill up. And, of course, I mean, credit to Encore. They go all out. They have these girls with the equivalent of, like, sparklers ready to go. Yeah. And they're lining them up. And is he going to go this way and that way? And they're clearing spots. Oh, and by the way, I hope this doesn't get me banned from there. But, wow, they got some real idiots, security guards. One guy was really cool, who was cool with me at the very end. And I'll come back to this story. No, I'll start off with this story. But when we got there, I was talking to my contact. Shamakar had a contact as well. The guy, remember, from Vegas, from the media day? And he was telling me where to go. And one Encore security goes, sir, you got to move. And he puts his hands on my waist. And I go, okay, do I go over here or over here? You know, because I'm talking to him. He's telling me how to get in. He's like, I'm telling you, you got to move. And he keeps pushing me. And I'm like, bro, I'm talking to you like a human being. Why do you keep putting your hands on me, you know? And he goes, I'm going to do more than that if you don't move, you know? And he's still, like, shuffling us. I'm like, fucking, you love your job, you know? And then another guy kind of intercedes. He goes, listen, sir, listen. You just need to go in this direction because the owner of the facility's coming. So I'm like, well, what does that mean? Just because the owner of the facility comes and all of a sudden you guys turn into cavemen? I mean, you know, talk to me. I wasn't doing anything on the line. I'm not even confrontational. I'm trying to get into the club, and the guy's trying to tell me, you know, where the guest line is, my contact. So, you know, and he understood, but they sent us down.
What did Meathead say?
He had already kind of fallen behind, but I don't think he liked it when I go, you really fucking love your job, don't you? But we went, I mean, he sent us down 2 corridors, made a left, down some stairs into the hot weather, and we were in line, the equivalent of like Space Mountain, like 3-hour wait. And Shamakar and I were down there with Eduardo, and I was like, guys, they just mocked us. I mean, this is bullshit. This is no guest line or whatever. And everybody had different information. Oh, it's that way. Oh, it's that way. Talk to him. Talk to her. Nobody knew anything, and finally someone just goes, fuck them. Put them in that line, you know? We were in a dumb line. We stood there, and I was already starting to trickle down a little sweat. I go, I'm out of here. I'm just going to go back out. So I went back out, sat in the sports book, which was close by, and I texted my contact. I go, hey, I hate to be that guy. I know you're super busy, but I just want to let you know I'm pretty close to where we were talking, but security just shuffled me out. I go, if you can get me in, great, and if not, don't sweat it. I really don't want to be that guy. I'm just a few feet away. He goes, no. He goes, I'll come out and get you. So that's how I made it in. Shamakar had another contact. We all get in together, and so now we're back to the pushing, back and forth, the velvet rope. I thought I was gonna have a prime spot for a pic and a video, and all of a sudden they go, he's really here, after about 10 times. After about 30 minutes of waiting, and when he came in, man, there must have been about 100 other videographers and photographers, like, I mean, and they just came, and now I went from, like, front row to, like, pictured you at the UFC in the front row, now you're in the 10th row.
How'd you get?
I was way back there. I was just holding my phone like this, kind of moving around, getting bumped. They just all came in with Conor. I thought it'd be Conor and one guy, but it was Conor and a lot of people.
Was it like Rocky running up the stairs and all them kids all of a sudden just converge on him?
Something like that, man. I mean, we got shoved back, and now I'm going, I'm just kind of holding up my arm, and I'm like, oh, my God.
Like Hulk Hogan.
What does my life come to that I'm doing this? I'm not even a photographer. I'm trying to be one. I'm thinking maybe the blue corner might appreciate this. I don't know. And they all came in, and there's just cameras, and they're doing their pose. But, I mean, we just got, what do you call it? Like, I guess, cock block for our spot. Photo blocked. I don't know. I mean, it was like a stampede of bulls.
I don't get how they got.
That's what it was. Though. It was a stampede of bulls.
The rope is here and you're here. How did they get in front?
Well, you have to leave space between us and there's the step and repeat. For those that don't know, a step and repeat is that banner in the back that's got all the sponsors. So it had Paradigm Sports Management, Surrender Nightclub, Corona, whoever the sponsors were. So it has all that, and so Conor steps in front of there on a red carpet, and then everybody takes the pick. But all these people didn't give a shit about that space. They just bowled in with him. I mean, like, I know it's fight day, but if that's what his life is like, that's gotta suck. That he's got to limit that, man. That was a lot of people.
I think it's more of, it's fight day.
It was a lot of people. And so Shamakar and I are just like holding up the camera, trying to just get anything. And, he's taller. And he's kind of experienced. So I think when he got his fill, he ran and got a good spot. I'm sitting there like Neil Page trying to get a hotel while Del Griffith went, and he's already booked and ready to go.
Selling shower curtains.
Yeah, so he's an expert, So once it was over, I remember turning to Shamakar going, now where do we... And I already look, and he's already somehow in the Conor area already, on top of it. So he's an expert. I'll give it up to Sandu MMA on Twitter. Eduardo, his buddy, and I are just kind of like, well, now I turn to him, and now what do? We go through another corner. It was like back to the Titanic. I can't think of anything else. So their area is elevated a little bit. And so we're all kind of like just pushing and shoving, close to stampede. But Stampede levels, but it wasn't. But there's still a lot of bumping, testosterone, and alcohol. So really, a good elbow and someone giving you the look, you have to hold back from going, what?
Yeah.
And of course, they may be looking for you to say what or whatever. So you just have to take it. Whatever. I'm in a club, it's crowded. I'm doing all that stuff. I get to an area where I see everyone's going up. Some of McGregor's team's just jumping over what's like the equivalent of 2 boxing ropes, just kind of leaping over. And security's trying to catch everyone, but they can't.
From his team?
Yeah, because you could get in by going up a set of stairs, or I guess you could just kind of leap over, kind of like you're leaping over someone's fence at a house. You can either go through the door or leap over. So they're getting in, and by the time security reacts, somebody's going, he's okay. But in the time they react, someone's going up the stairs. So it was kind of mayhem. It was kind of, again, the Titanic. Which boat? First class first, women and first class, women and children first, and this and that. So we're sitting there, and anyway, you could see Artem was one of them. He was going, that guy, like that, and everybody. There was all these Irish guys. Hey, what about me? What about me? I mean, just literally begging, can I get in? That guy. And then there's another person going, yeah, that guy. Security must have been like, what the fuck? You want them all up there or what? I mean, it's starting to really, really fill up. But
there's
okay,
more people in there than there are.
He's letting them in.
Outside.
I'm thinking, how tight can all them be? Like, I mean, how big is that crew? That guy. He's pointing, and they're all like, me, and I couldn't tell if it was
randoms
a fan. I couldn't tell if it was a fan or part of the group or what it was, And I'm standing there, and I was hoping Artem would just remember me from there and just go, can you get me in? I like to be more subtle, Can I get in? Kind of like that little motion. But he's pointing this, this way, that way, and then another guy's there, and another manager go, fuck this. What do I want to go in there for? I mean, I guess, what am I really going to say to him? He's kind of more sitting with his family and closer friends, and it was fun just talking to Adi and a few of the others. So then I retreat back a little bit, and I'm talking again with our contact. We're having a drink, just kind of watching all these people beg to get in. It looks like you're boarding a boat, because you go up these stairs, and this area is just elevated a little bit higher.
Is it like when you're going into the plane from the ground? Like
maybe not that many stairs, but it was like 3 or 4 stairs just to get up. So it's like, again, like you're boarding a ride or a boat or something like that. So they're all doing that stuff, but I mean, getting back and forth, just people bumping into each other, and it was a scene. It was really, really a scene, but it was cool to kind of just people watch. I don't really go to after parties, so I was kind of glad that I went, and I'm watching. And then I told you yesterday that I actually went outside, just like, what's going on out there? And it was just a sea of fans. Again, I actually had that Eduardo. Did I miss something, or did he win the fight? Because it really was a celebration, And then those people were dying to be where I was at, and of course, people were dying to be from where I went to where Conor was at. So it was like different levels of, I guess, that superstardom of how close his fans just want to be near him.
Like the Fraser Crane Spa episode.
Something like that, man. It was really cool. It was fun. But I hadn't been in that scene in a while. It's like, you're yelling, our friends saying, hey, meet so-and-so. She made boots for Conor. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. What's your name? What? Yeah,
that's what I
Junkie
don't like
Radio.
about clubs.
Serious. Where can I catch it? Okay, whatever. And then this guy, what's your name? Hard handshakes here and there.
Sweaty hands.
I bumped into Rico, and Rico Verhoeven. I politely asked him, because he's the Glory heavyweight champion. I politely, respectfully answered him. I didn't want to get leg kicked. I go, hey, Rico, and who made the Bigfoot matchup? I wanted to ease into it, but my point was like, you're gonna fucking kill this guy. I wanted to get to that, but he goes, I don't know, Glory, and it looked like, what do you want from me? They gave me the matchup, but yeah, I know I'm gonna serve him up. But I guess I wanted to get to it, and then I caught myself thinking, this ain't the time. Like, maybe if we were at a bar and we were like, if he asked me what I thought, I guess. But it was all in passing. But I was curious, was it a call out?
Yeah, you got to make sure he understands everything you're saying.
That's a whole other sport and everything. But I don't know. Maybe at least now he knows. There's someone out there that knows that this is a mauling. I mean, the best heavyweight kickboxer should not be fighting Bigfoot, man. Money or not. And I'm saying that on the night that an 0-0 boxer boxed the 49-0 boxer. He had every right to go, bitch, you were at that fight, or you just covered that fight, But Anyway, it was a wild night, man. It was a crazy night in terms of all that. The security guy, you know, I just couldn't believe how full of himself he was.
That's anybody.
He has to learn a little bit more, though, about, like, there's certain situations. Like, I hung around afterwards because I couldn't take it any longer. I go, I'm going to get some fresh air. I went outside and I sat in the sports book just chilling out, watching people trickle out. And I could see some people getting shuffled out of there. And those people were coming out with some attitude. Hey, those you want to, like, stamp out that fire, you know, before it becomes really, really a bigger fire. Mm-hmm. And they're coming out with attitude and pointing and, like, aggressiveness. And that wasn't the case with me at all, man. I thought I was nicely dressed. I still had my tie and my shirt, you know, and I'm talking to Zach, and he's kind of like pointing that you need to go around here. So I was in the process of sorting out my situation. I wasn't just some dude like waving my hand and me and or anything like that. So I felt like he was a little out of line there. But you know, I don't know. Like I said, the owner's coming through, but I think the owner would rather have people be comfortable and not be like verbally assaulted like that just because he's coming through.
They're being bodyguards. They're being dumb.
Yes, man, I guess.
Is this me or is Marco's call dragging on? Marco,
it is. Marco, get to the point. Wrap it up already.
You didn't just hijack my call. You totally railroaded, man. But
well, I gave you the option.
Yeah, last thing, bro. On the event, man, on the boxing event, I still don't like their format because it was all about the main event. I watched the prelims, and it was like you could hear a freaking nail drop in there, and you could hear it. It was just ugly how empty it was on the Fox prelims, and then it didn't really look like full until the co-main hit, man. So they need to fix that in boxing. They want us to care about the fighters, care a little bit more about the prelims, not just the main event. Peace out, guys.
See ya.
I don't think that's going to change.
Yeah,
anytime soon.
boxing's got a long history.
A little bit in the last couple of years, where the co-main now is a little bit more up as far as competition.
Maybe a second title or something.
Yeah, but everything on the bottom, I don't think they give a shit.
They don't, and it is sad that that's the way the stadium fills up. But just
fights are long.
Honestly,
though,
Marco, no one gives a damn from a prelim on a card like that to now you being someone that people pay a lot of money to watch. It takes a lot, whereas in MMA you can be on the prelim. Plus, I think MMA is just more by the seat type thing. You know, like anything can happen between A and B, despite the odds. So much can happen in a fight, and so people are just more accustomed in our sport to getting there early. There's just more great popular fighters as well, so you'll see people at least, maybe not the Fight Pass, but at least by the Fox prelims. You'd be a fool to be missing some of those. Even then, in our sport, people are walking in during the main card. But I would say that with MMA, you're assured of having at least a 75 to 85% full stadium by main card. In boxing, it's pretty much by the main
Depending
event.
Where you're at,
that's just what they care about. All right, folks, we got to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back.
know that scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader tells Luke he's his father? What if I walked in right after with my voice and was like, I'm your Uncle Walter. Can I get a lift home? That'd be crazy, right? Anyway, here George and goes.
Thousands affected by Hurricane Harvey urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Assist in the relief effort by texting Harvey to 90999 to make a $10 donation. Again, assist in the relief effort by texting Harvey to 90999 to make a $10 donation. All right, we'll be joined by Colby Covington in a few minutes. He's going to position himself in a better area so we can get a clear call. Also, 4 great calls today. I think I'm going to huddle up with the guys here after the show and maybe pick 2 of these 4 so that we can add them to our board. And according to how the fight plays out between Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, you will be entered in the contest to win this glove, signed by both great fighters. Colby Covington will be fighting Damian Maia, if you haven't heard. This broke last week during all the boxing mayhem, but it takes place on October 28th at UFC Fight Night 119. This fight card takes place in Brazil, in the lovely city of Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it's headlined by Lyoto Machida versus Derek Brunson. Also on the card, and goes, Danny, this ain't a bad card. Glover Teixeira versus Misha Serkinov.
Like it.
So 2 top 10, we can say, light heavyweights. Damian Maia and Colby Covington.
Good fight.
So now you have a 1, 2, 3, bang for your buck. Divison Alcantara Figueiredo versus Jared Brooks. I'm more happy just for Jared Brooks. I like that guy.
He wasn't happy with his last performance.
Right. Jack Marshman versus Antonio Carlos Jr., a.k.a. Shoeface.
Those guys are going to throw.
Augusto Mendez versus Boston Salmon.
Nice
so
to
we'll
see
be
Boston.
Taking a side there. Carlos Felipe versus Christian Colombo. So this card definitely, to me, is more attractive than other fight nights. Now, my point isn't to disparage the matchmakers or other fight night cards. I would just rather say, hey, this one's pretty cool. Like, it's off to a great start, and maybe it'll be better. Now, the one coming up in Rotterdam is headlined by Stipe Miocic and Alexander Volkov. And I would say that matchup I like slightly less than Machida Brunson, Serkinov Teixeira, and Maia Covington. So I wouldn't even have it, as one of my top 3 on that card. But that's the main event there. And I get it because Struve is Dutch. Then Marion Renault versus Jermaine Durandamy fell apart. They replaced her with a newcomer. Durandamy, I should say. They replaced her with a newcomer. So that card is there. A lot of Eastern European names that I don't recommend. So maybe that is a great chance to make some dough. Follow Dan on Twitter. He's the one that sifts through all that and tells you who's garbage and who's all that. And a bag of chips.
Talita de Oliveira.
That's who's subbing in? All right. So, anyhow, it's funny how, not all fight nights are created equal. Not all pay-per-views are created equal. And from what I can tell, if I had to guess, Ferguson and Lee are going to headline.
I just don't see any other scenario unless you create some type of matchup.
Right.
They don't. And I think they deserve it.
Huh?
I think they deserve it.
Yeah. They're going to headline, and you're going to have Derek Lewis and Fabricio Verdum as backup. But I really hope they can get Ngannou and Overeem on that card. Because Overeem apparently needed more time. Well, here you go. Danny, why don't you check in with Colby? If he needs a few more minutes, we'll take the quick break. And if he's ready to go, then we're ready to go. But I'd like to check in and see if he's okay.
Cool, we'll do.
All right. A whole other conversation, which I'm not ready to have now, will be, should it be the headliner? If it is the headliner, and if Conor's fighting Nate, then don't make it for an interim title. The champion's active. Please, just because it'll sell you more pay-per-views, don't muddle it up, man. You just got a gift of $50 million from the boxing match. What's up?
I just said, I was trying to say it in your ear, not interrupt you, but Colby said he's good to go.
He's good to go. All right, cool.
That sounded like you just went blip.
Yeah, I did, man. Boom, boom. Bitch it. All right, let's go with Colby Covington joining us now on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. What's up, Colby? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for doing the show, man. We're excited for you. You got a great matchup against a great fighter, one that gets you yet even closer to your goal of being the champion in the welterweight division.
Yeah, man, it's an exciting matchup. I'm excited to go out there and show who the true #1 welterweight UFC fighter in the world is. So, I'm just looking forward to the opportunity.
Now, this guy's not really going to talk smack back to you. He's a respectful mixed martial artist. And part of the fun of following you these last few years has been the fact that you kind of poke these bears, and get them engaged. But this one's going to be more respectful. It seems like, I don't know, maybe you can't get it out of them. But are you okay with that? And I guess, how thrilled are you about fighting on his home turf? He is from Sao Paulo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna keep it respectful with him. He's not gonna engage back with me, but. I'm going to direct my focus at who I should be fighting, Tyrone Woodley. So, I'm out to set out that I'm the best fighter in the world, and that's exactly what I'm going to do on October 28th when I retire Damian Maia in his home city of Sao Paulo, Brazil.
I love it. So you're saying the beating you put on him, that's going to be it, huh? Damian will want to bow out of the sport?
That's going to be it, man. He's going to be looking for a new job, maybe like a cell phone kiosk booth in a mall or something, but he's going to know that he doesn't want to fight anymore after he's done with me.
Damian's 39 right now, and about a week later, he'll actually turn 40. You never know, man. Sometimes when a young cat comes in and brutalizes you, that could be it. Yeah, he looks like he leads a clean lifestyle. He's still competing at a high level, but Colby's prediction, it's not just smack talk. It could really go down like that. All right, Goes, what do you have for Colby Covington?
Colby, this is going to be back-to-back fights outside of the United States. Is this where maybe a line gets drawn? I mean, or do you like being that road warrior?
I don't mind being a road warrior. I'm just proving to the UFC that you can send me wherever you want to send me. You can send me to Iceland, to Antarctica. I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to dominate, and I'm going to win. So, I'm just setting an example and a precedent that I'm a real fighter. I'm here to fight. I'll fight anybody, anytime. And I want to be active, and I'll fight anywhere. So I should be showing my worth to UFC, and hopefully they'll give me that big Vegas spot, or even better in my home city and home state of Oregon. So that would be a dream come true to get a UFC back to Oregon.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
The intel from George Masvidal, he faced Damian Maia recently. You guys are good friends. How good is the intel, and will George be in your corner that night?
Yeah, the intel's great. He's been in there. He's had hands-on experience with him, so he's kind of telling me what to expect and where we need to work on some things. And unfortunately, he will not be able to be there because he has a fight in the next week in Madison Square Garden versus Stephen Thompson. So unfortunately, my boy won't be able to be there. But I can promise you, I'm going to get payback for my boy, and I'm going to make Damian Maia pay for the pain that George Masvidal had to go through.
When a lot of people break down this fight, I mean, I'm sure you've heard it before, and this happens a lot with Damian Maia, but people are going to say, if it's on the feet, it's going Colby's way. If it's on the ground, we got to give the advantage to Damian. How do you feel about that, Colby? Do you feel the night of the fight, do you have any issues with going down to the ground with Damian Maia, or is that something you have to avoid?
Man, that's ridiculous. I do not have to avoid going to the ground with Damian Maia. Honestly, I feel like I'm the best BJJ guy. If we're just talking about positioning and takedowns and overall control in that game, he's not going to come close to what I know. I train with Rodolfo Vieira. I train with Carlos De Sapito Jr., who's also on the UFC Sao Paulo, and I more than hold my own. Those guys could vouch that they would probably say I'm right up there in the top #1 guys in the BJJ world. So if we go to the ground, I'm not really too worried. I'll beat him up everywhere. It doesn't really matter where we go.
Do you wish this fight was 5 rounds, or because it is high stakes? I mean, you could get a title shot out of this. You guys are both ranked in the top 5. So do you wish this was 5 rounds, or are you okay with 3?
It was 5 rounds. It should be the main event. How do they put Lyoto Machida and Derek Brunson as the main event? Like, those guys aren't nowhere near the title right now. Lyoto Machida is coming off suspension. Derek Brunson, he's not nowhere near the title. So, it doesn't really make sense. Damian Maia is the #1 contender, and I'm the best welterweight in the world. So they should be putting us two as the main event in a 5-round fight. But with that being said, it's not a big deal. I'll beat him in 2 rounds. That's what I predict. That's what I'm telling everybody, that I'm going to knock him out in the 2nd round. So it doesn't matter if it's 3 rounds or 5 rounds. He's going to get beat up.
Colby Covington, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. And then will you fly out of Sao Paulo to corner George, since by then your event will be over?
Yeah, for sure. As soon as my event's over, I'm flying right to New York, and I'll be out there supporting my boy George, man. We got to see him put it on Stephen Thompson. That's going to be a great clash of strikers, and can't wait to see my boy get his hand raised. We've been saying since the beginning that we're going to take this division over, and right now we both feel we're number 1 and number 2 in the world. We just don't know which order, so we're excited for the future and what's to come.
Colby, last question. Tyron Woodley, we know he owns an ATT affiliate, but we also know he doesn't come to Coconut Creek as much as obviously how you and George are there every day. But I recently saw that he was there for a few days, maybe a few months back or something like that. How welcomed is he, being that you and George are so close to that title? Does it make sense for you all to be near each other, and especially with you and Tyron actually definitely not exchanging Christmas cards this year?
Yeah, I mean, Tyron Woodley, man, the crown's too heavy for him, honestly. He can go back to his passion. He should start standing in the background of these B-list movies. That's his real passion. He's the type of dude that he's going out to these little movies, taking pictures. Oh, no, let me get a picture with you, Snoop, just so I can say he's my friend on social media. The guy's a joke, man. He's a fake. He's a fraud. I mean, he doesn't even get credited in these movies. That's how pathetic he is. They don't even put him in the credits, you know? Unless we're talking about, like, some gas station kickboxer vengeance movie, then that maybe he gets credit in that. But besides that guy's a joke, man. I mean, he's telling everybody, oh, he wouldn't even look at me when he was in the gym. Yeah, I wouldn't look at you because I promised my manager and owner of ATT, Dan Lambert, that I would keep it professional and I wouldn't say nothing to you. I didn't want to have to cause no problems. He had a fight coming up. I keep it classy always, you know. But at the end of the day, Woodley's just saying fake stuff, you know. He's on Ariel Helwani's show. Oh, Colby Covington won't get a word out of my mouth. And then the next thing he's saying is, oh, Colby Covington, he wouldn't even look at me when I was in the gym. Oh, he's shadowboxing under my championship belt. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Like, first off, your picture's up by the bags where we work out, and second off, I had to make a promise to Dan Lambert that he wouldn't even give me this Damian Maia fight or a big fight unless I kept it cool with Tyron Woodley. So, you know, I made some promises to my manager down. But at the end of the day, fucking Tyron Woodley's a fake, he's a fraud, and I promise you I'm going to expose him soon.
Damn. Colby Covington on fire right now. Yeah, and you also brought up Snoop Dogg. You seem to be on the side. Well, actually, many people seem to be on the side. He may have gone too far. I know some people weren't feeling his Snoop cast, you know, from a few weeks ago. He had some, I guess, comments towards Daniel Cormier. But on Saturday night, you know, he was definitely, you know, putting it on McGregor after the fight was over. I can see here by your handle at Colby Cov MMA, you weren't too thrilled about that either.
Yeah, it's just a joke, man. I mean, the UFC is employing him. You know, it's not cheap to fly him out to those athlete summits. I know he's getting a way bigger purse than I am just to show up and fight a year. So, you know, I think it's just a joke how he's going to trash on UFC and fighters in general. It's like, dude, you never even fought. You're a skinny little twig, dude. How are you going to act hard and act like you're tough, dude? Like, it was a boxing match. Yeah, congrats to Floyd. It was a money fight. Conor did that for the money, but at the end of the day, if it was in the streets or if it was in the octagon, I mean, it's not even going to be competitive. Conor would have killed Floyd. So don't act all hard and say this ill word towards the UFC who employs you. You know, that's ridiculous.
There you have it, folks. Colby Covington headed to Brazil versus Damian Maia, and anybody that gets in his way, he'll deal with you too. He's on fire right now here on the MMA Junkie Radio Show. On October 28th, he'll be fighting Damian Maia at UFC Fight Night 19. All right, Colby. Well, hey, listen, man. Hopefully you still get to enjoy that food you just bought. Hopefully we didn't get you too fired up. But as always, we appreciate you being on the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. I got fired up. It's good because I'm going straight to training. My third workout of the day. I already did strength and conditioning and some jiu-jitsu this morning. Going to do a little sparring tonight. So I'm out to prove I'm the best in the world, and I know that's the case right now. So bring it. All these welterweights, you're dead.
I love it.
Awesome. Great ending. All right. Thanks, Colby. Take care.
Take care, guys.
All right. See you. Damn, he's doing 3 workouts. I can't even get the nerve to do
Dude,
one.
We're going to see him next week. Can you imagine if he needs help or something?
I know.
Somebody else is going to hold those pads.
Oh, man, if he snaps his fingers and says, go give me an extra pillow, I might have to go get it. All right. Let me make sure your accommodations
down. What would you like, Colby?
Yeah, is everything cool here? You want a nice mocha frap? Colby Covington, Misha Tate, and Paul Felder will be joining us next week as we visit JBLE, Joint Base Langley Eustis, for another morale visit troop to visit the soldiers and the airmen from those two bases. We are stoked about it, and that will start a vacation for us. So we'll be here the rest of this week, 3 days next week, and then we'll be gone till September 21st. All right, folks, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. Stay close. We'll be right back to wrap up.
Network. Hit us up on Twitter.com at MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Goes.
Well, we're going to wrap up soon. If it's a pain in the ass, we won't do OT. You guys want to do OT, we can do it. Goes and Danny, you guys decide.
I don't care.
Danny?
I'm good.
Okay, overtime's not a pain in the ass? I got a text yesterday. Somebody just loves overtime to death.
Well,
so from time to time we can do it, and it seems like we've been doing it more often than not. So showtime, relax a little bit. Let's just do this soft exit. Sirius XM Rush 93 listeners, you will get more combat sports and entertainment coming your way. And remember, if you heard part of the show, you can hear the whole show with replays at always at 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Tuesday through Friday, you can hear a replay of the previous day's show at 7 a.m. Eastern. The whole show is available on the SiriusXM app, commercial-free, HD quality. If you ever want to hear our overtime or catch a video of what we're doing over here, leave us a comment in the chat. Once you pull over or you're in a spot where you can hit us up, go to facebook.com/official MMA Junkie. So that's for the YouTube audience if you can't get on YouTube. And if the Facebook audience can't get on Facebook, you can always go to youtube.com/MMA Junkie Video. All the shows are housed there. We'll be right back in about 10 minutes for overtime. 10 seconds, sorry.
All you need is stone heart and a nerve steel. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-arm bandits crashing. All those hopes down the drain. Fever, Las Vegas turning day into night. I'm turning night into daytime. If you
guys clear for overtime.
All right, let's talk to Showtime from Tennessee. What's up, Showtime? It's yo time.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What up?
Not much, man. How about you?
Tell us about yo time.
Killer. Hey, I bet they talking about James Lofton from the NFL Network.
Ooh, that'd be good.
That'd be a good one.
That'd be good.
I bet that's what they're talking about. They said James. I'm pretty sure. That's the other station I listen to other than this station. Damn, boy, you guys had Colby fired up.
It's not like we were really pushing buttons, man. He was just going off.
That's why I like him, dude. He all you have to do is kind of direct him, and he just does his thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though, man. Those guys talking to Snoop, they better realize Snoop not no hoe now. They better realize that now. He might be skinny, and he not a fighter, but he wasn't a play gangster.
But what's he really gonna do though? What does that mean?
No, I'm just saying he not no hoe.
It's not like Suge's around still. I mean, I don't think he carries a piece. And but if you're saying that he's a powerhouse in any way in entertainment, and you know could maybe align himself with the right person to head back, maybe. But I guess verbally he'll hold his own against anyone. I hear you there.
Yeah, this is all fun and games. I like the young man passion though. I like Kobe. I actually hope he's a dog so I can drop on him. I feel confident with him.
Is there a line? Let's see if there's a line. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll look. All right.
I don't know, but he'll probably be a dog. I'm pretty sure.
I think there's a lot to learn from the Masvidal fight, and I think he'll make the adjustments.
And I want to ask him more when we see him next week and sit down. Listen, George went to the ground a few times, and it cost him rounds. Not just a fight, but rounds. Like, if you go to the ground, do you really want to be fighting off a rear naked or anything like that and losing that round and pressuring yourself? Now, the flip side is Tyron had a fight. He did win the fight. He won his win bonus. He kept the belt. He got booed. So there's something to be said for that game plan. It works. Can you find a balance of the two and just not have to deal with Damian Maia and the comforts of Brazil? You're the one that had to travel. He didn't. He got to sleep in his own bed. He didn't get swollen ankles from a 10-hour flight or just all that bullshit that comes along with, long distance travel, jet lag, all that stuff.
How many fighters have you heard say one thing and then when you confront them, they just kind of give you a wink?
I know, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. Showtime?
Yeah, I think he'll knock him out, though. I think that's going to be that's his way to prove a point, to put himself in title contention to knock him out. But did I hear you guys say Stipe is fighting who?
No, he misspoke. He corrected himself, though. He said Struve.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did say that?
Oh, shit.
Okay, Struve fights Alexander Volkov.
Okay, that's who it was.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought. I mean, I was like, okay, damn.
You think he almost swerved off the road?
Yeah, that would have been quite the matchup for Volkov. He would have been ecstatic.
Hey, man, I can't wait, man, for this first week of October, man. Damn, I'm excited, man. I think I'm gonna try to get out there Thursday to Monday. I'll just take a little quick.
Well, yeah, aren't you the special guest at Kaylee's after party?
Yeah, man. So I'm rooting for my boy Kaylee.
All right.
I'm not gonna miss that for nothing. I was actually waiting to play. I was gonna come to that card anyway, but just with him, I'm hoping they headline. I can't see. I mean, who else would headline if they don't?
Yeah, they have to be because they're the title shot. So even if Ngannou and Overeem was made, they wouldn't headline over a title fight. So they probably at this point are the title fight. But Go's made a good point. What if something were to happen to any of the big four? The big four are Derek, who's battling a lot right now on the personal side, versus Verdum, Lee versus Ferguson. Then they're left with a card that it rivals 213, just a little bit of a disappointment. There's still some great fights underneath, but a business disappointment. The hardcore fans will still be doing it, but there's the people that just have a problem with paying $60 for just any card, and I respect that. So I feel like you have to come in with one more matchup.
Every card that goes up against college football and pro football, you gotta come strong. I mean, there's just other things people can do at this time. Mm-hmm. October, there's baseball playoffs. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I just want to call in, man. I love the format with my guy Dan Tom. I want to give him a big shout out, man. I love that format, man. I can't wait to get out there and hang out with you guys again, man.
All right, Dan sends his regards as well. Thanks for the call, Showtime.
All right, guys.
All right, see you. I may repeat this tomorrow. We'll leave with this, but I guess I did leave a teaser out there and something I didn't cover, and that was the black-white component.
I thought we did talk about
element
that.
to
that wasn't what you were talking about with Derek Lewis and the flag?
No, actually it wasn't. But I could play it off smooth like that's what it was, but it wasn't. You know, watching the fight for a third time, I pan to the crowd a lot during a lot of the flurries, and I'm watching, and I really have no problem with it. But obviously you would see a lot of the celebs that were black cheering for Floyd, and it boils down to you're hanging out with your buddy, you know, and he's of another race or color or whatever, and you're like, I'll take the Mexican, or I'll take the Hispanic, I'll take the brother, and I'll take the white, you know, whatever. That happens all the time. I have no problem with it. I really don't. And what I saw a lot is some people, obviously, like Snoop, took it to other levels, you know, with the video and just pouring it on. And then, but what I noticed mostly was anybody that did cheer for their guy and he won also showed some respect for Conor. So what I liked was that for that one moment, you had your guy and I had my guy. And again, it happens everywhere. So I really don't have a problem with it. Others probably do. But what I liked is that when it was over, it was like back to color shouldn't matter. You know, whether it was a respectful tweet or just in their actions. I noticed that a lot just from, you know, man, that's all I've been doing is clicking stories, watching interviews,
some people
watching replays. I saw the Diaz Schaub from different angles, you know, just they had a little bit of some words. But that's one thing that I always came back to was, God, it's so cool that at least it got left alone once the fight was over.
I saw some people directing towards Skip Bayless, like, you're only rooting for Conor because he's white, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
something we're not going to get over for a while.
I think I think what happens with Skip and Shannon. I mean, not that I'm uncovering anything here, but I think if what's the lady's name?
Molly?
No, she's with the other guys. She's with Max and Stephen A. This one is Jason Brown's sister. God, they always say her name. But Jason.
Plus, I ain't trying to go for no swim right now.
What's the name of the lineman who made it to the Hall of Fame? He was a defensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins. It wasn't Jason Brown.
Taylor?
Jason Taylor. Yeah, so her name is something, I think, Taylor or whatever. Anyway, if she introduces a topic and Shannon quickly jumps on Floyd, I think Skip feels like, well, I got to back it up here, and it's a 50-50.
You just have to present the other side of it.
It's a 50-50 chance. Yeah, I mean that's what makes for great radio and TV or whatever. So I don't know that he was completely Conor all the way. I don't know that show well enough. Maybe Skip's been a Conor fan for years. Who knows? But Bayless was just a little naive and ignorant.
With Dallas, he goes a little
pre and post. His meltdown, though, man. His meltdown after the Packers lost last year was hilarious because you could just tell he was like, what the fuck? Especially the one where, remember the cowboy, the tight end that came into the huddle and then realized, oh, that's trouble. He didn't really, huddle. He didn't hear the play, bob his head, and on the count of three say, break. And then all of a sudden realized, wait, he kind of almost just, made it to the huddle and then turned around like,
he was like Tom Cat, huh? When he
pretty much. He just, hit the brakes, turned around, went back, and they had gotten a 15, 20-yard play on top of not getting that. He went 15 the other way. And you could hear Skip what the fuck? Seriously, what the fuck? I mean, that's the dumbest thing ever. And then he's talking about the field goal do you remember the field goal that Green Bay made it on? That one? How it went in, out, and then it knuckled back. Oh, my God, dude. I mean, these guys, my Cowboy buddies, Skip Bayless, there was a lot of people that had to have been on literally at the edge of a hotel. Just I can't deal with this. But if you ever want a good laugh, it's 13 minutes long. Skip's reaction to Cowboys playoffs. Cowboys Packers playoffs. Anyways, let's get out of here. Tomorrow, Fernando Gonzalez will join us, who defeated Brendan Ward at Bellator 182 this past week. I'm not even sure we mentioned much there, but Georgie Karakhanyan, what happened there?
You got to win, too.
You got to win, right?
Yeah.
AJ McKee got to win?
Got to win.
Yeah, and then what we saw was Korshkov defeated Chidi rather easily, and it's unfortunate. I was hoping Chidi would perform a little bit better. Chidi didn't make weight, and boy, he's got a lot to sort out. He either just needs to become a middleweight or figure this thing out, because he's missing by a lot. It's consecutive. I'd rather just tell him that when he's here, but anyway. All right, folks, we're out of here. So I want to thank Colby Covington for his time, and shout out to Danny, Dan, and Goes for an outstanding job. I, however, took it to another level. So we are out of here. Tomorrow we'll tell you who we chose to fill in these spots for the Canelo Alvarez and Triple G glove, and we'll have more spots to fill tomorrow. We have 27 in total, and ways you can get in are, creatively getting a hold of us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and also by calling in. And we will fill in some of these spots slowly but surely. We're out of here, folks. Go out there and be champions.
Las Vegas with your neon flashing and your one-arm bandits crashing, almost home down the drain. Fever, Las Vegas turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same.
Guys,
thanks, Danny, for hanging out.